I've been noticing for years that the Trump cult is absolutely obsessed with Barack Obama. So I decided to do some research to try and find out why the MAGA cult is so obsessed with Obama. Barack Obama has not been president for 10 years, and MAGA can't stop talking about him. They are literally obsessed with the man. They try and blame him for things that are happening today. That's not random. There's a psychological reason for that, although it seems a little creepy. Here are the 4 reasons the Trump cult is obsessed with President Obama. 1. The psychological wage of whiteness. In 1935, sociologist W.E.B. Du Bois at Atlanta University studied poor white Americans. White Americans, even the poor ones, with no money and no power, felt superior to black Americans. Not because they earned it, but because for 250 years the entire system told them they were superior to black people. The law said it, the church said it, the culture said it. Du Bois called it the psychological wage of whiteness. This is a status payment people collect just for being white, a floor that white people couldn't fall beneath. Then Barack Obama became president. He occupied the highest status role in the country. That destroyed the floor. And when a status floor breaks, people don't quietly adjust. They backlash. Obama didn't just win an election. He took something they didn't even know they were depending on. They didn't earn this special status, but they thought it was stolen when Barack Obama got elected. And they've been trying to take it back ever since. 2. Social identity threat. Psychologist Henry Teifel at the University of Bristol spent decades studying in-group conflict. What he found was when a member of an out-group outperforms the in-group, the psychological response is not one of admiration, but hostility. Teifel called this social identity threat. A failed black president would have confirmed the Trump cult's worldview, but Obama being polished, competent, scandal-free, and widely respected by world leaders made it impossible to call him incompetent. The better Obama performed, the more threatening he became to the cult. Not because of his policies, but because his success directly contradicted everything they believe about the natural order of things. He wasn't supposed to be better. He wasn't supposed to be a gentleman and a scholar, and yet he was. That doesn't just go away. When weak, mediocre people see someone they believe was inferior reach the highest office in the country, they don't get inspired. They become filled with rage. They feel lied to, and they need someone to blame for the hate and rage. That target is Obama. Everything they could never be. 3. Scapegoating. Obama left office in 2017, but his name never left the conversation because Trump spent more than a decade smearing his name. It all started before Trump was even president. Trump spent years pushing the birther conspiracy, claiming Obama wasn't American, wasn't legitimate, wasn't one of us. That wasn't politics. That was a deliberate effort to strip Obama of his humanity and plant him in the minds of millions as the source of everything wrong. Then when Trump took office, the playbook continued. Every problem needed an explanation. Economy struggling? Obama's fault. Crime rate rising? Obama's fault. Anything going wrong in the country? Obama's fault. Psychologists call this scapegoating. Assign one figure as the source of all your problems and anxiety, which then collapses onto that single target. It feels like clarity to his followers. It feels like understanding. It isn't. Trump didn't just keep Obama's name alive. He spent over a decade turning him into the villain of the story. And to the Trump cult members, this story still is true. 4. Cognitive dissonance. Here's what made the obsession permanent. The MAGA cult couldn't call Obama corrupt. There were no scandals. They couldn't call him incompetent. The record didn't support it. They couldn't even call him unpresidential. He was polished, disciplined, and respected around the world. Psychologist Leon Festinger at Stanford University studied what happens when people are confronted with evidence that contradicts their deeply held beliefs. Weak people don't update their beliefs when confronted with contradicting evidence. They double down on their original beliefs. Festinger called this cognitive dissonance. MAGA was left holding a belief system that Obama's entire existence disproved. And instead of resolving that contradiction by updating their worldview, they resolved it by hating him harder. The obsession isn't just political, it's psychological, and it has nowhere left to go. So it goes out onto everyone else in rage and obsession. Obama is living proof that the psychological wage of whiteness doesn't exist anymore. And to weak people who never earned that status in the first place, it feels like an identity crisis. So they obsess more, say his name more, talk about him obsessively all the time. They even have a name for this now, Obama derangement syndrome. Because Obama didn't just win the presidency. He broke a hierarchy millions of people thought was permanent. And they've been trying to undo that moment ever since.
Obama even had the nerve to say this.
Imagine if I had done any of this.
You did. In your time as president, you deported somewhere between 2 to 5 million illegal immigrants, with an estimated 1.7 million of them having never seen an immigration judge. My dude, you held courts where the presiding judge was an immigration agent. That's the highest court that nearly 2 million illegal immigrants saw under your tenure.
Lock in, fuck niggas. We about to fact check this shit. First, if you fuck with me, make sure that follow button. Let's get it. I don't know why the conservative MAGAs believe that the Trump administration and the Obama administration, when it comes to deportation, share the same values. They don't. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I am not a fan of deportation and I am not defending Obama, but I am going to explain you the two difference between Obama and Trump. Yes, Obama did deport 2 to 5 million undocumented migrants. But guess what? Majority of them were not living in the United States in the first place. You see, a lot of people keep talking about Obama's non-judicial process. This is when an individual doesn't get an immigration judge and risk a chance of getting deported. But this only happened at the point of entry, either at the border or at the airports. And this only happened when people were seeking asylum but were suspected of entering illegally. In other words, he mainly deported people who didn't have proper paperwork trying to seek asylum, which again exposes the problem that we have with the immigration process, because you don't have enough time to actually fix the problems that you do have. You get deported easily. But this is completely different than Donald Trump actually going to each state and trying to remove undocumented migrants. We also have to understand that Donald Trump is trying to get all undocumented migrants, while Obama was a little different. He actually focused on criminals, not to mention the numerous programs that he tried to create to help undocumented migrants. One example in 2016 when he tried to increase worker visas for undocumented migrants. So no, Obama's immigration policies were not great, but we're not comparing it to Donald Trump.
Barack Obama could be our next president. I'm not kidding. This can actually happen. Trump has made no secret of the fact that he wants to change the Constitution and run for a third term. But he wouldn't just automatically win if he ran for a third term. He'd have to run against a Democratic challenger. And if the Constitution no longer prohibited a third term, who would the Democrats' best option be? Barack Obama. And a poll was just released that showed this hypothetical matchup, Trump versus Obama. Who do you think won? Unsurprisingly, Obama wins by 6%, which is actually a blowout margin. And if you look closer at the data, Obama does this by two things. One is by winning independents by about 20%, and two is by stealing a bunch of votes from people who voted for Trump in 24, but would vote for Obama in 28. And this all adds up because in 2016, there were between 6 and 9 million people who voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012, and then voted for Trump in 2016. So in my opinion, change the Constitution. Good luck. The best modern day American president with the highest approval rating of any living president against an 82-year-old Donald Trump. I like our chances.
Folks competing about who posing as the best war criminals and shit. Yo, America, bro. This is the picture that the Trump administration keeps aura farming for, right? Like, this is what they want. Like, look at the comp. Look at Hillary holding, like, in awe, right? Like, watch this. Same shit. He stayed trying to... One more time. Look at the background. Look at the faces, right? They have it in mind. Boom. The black and white coloring wasn't going to change anything. Listen. Let me tell you something. Like I said, I showed y'all they looking up Venezuela in the background. I'm not here to, I think I've become way too radicalized now. I'm not here to big up Obama's photo too when it was getting bin Laden, right? And I can also acknowledge what bin Laden and Al Qaeda, terror cell did. I can acknowledge all those things, but I'm also not here to be like, oh, well, my president look better posing, in the middle. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to say is it's very weird that you're obsessed with even that part of someone's legacy. Like if you had any goodness to you, most presidents should learn, after the last president, right? They should be like, you know what? I'm probably above that, or I don't need that, right? Like what we're doing here, I may feel, not me personally, but the president may feel it's necessary for national security and really buy into that. But if what's at the forefront of your brain is gotta be Obama's bin Laden photo, it's kind of nuts.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No.
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you.
Of course, whenever Trump is backed into a corner, he needs to change the subject and throw red meat to the carnivorous base. And their favorite cut is filet of Obama. Here's Trump earlier today being asked about the ongoing Epstein scandal.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold. Now, we found this isn't like evidence this is like proof, irrefutable proof that Obama was sedacious.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it takes extraordinary confidence to call a former president sedacious, because that is not a word.
If I were named Obama, I would have had the Nobel Prize given in 10 seconds. He got the Nobel Prize. He didn't even know what the hell he got it for. Remember, he got elected. Well, so did I. He got elected, and they announced he was getting the Nobel Prize. Remember, he said, "Oh, what did I do?" He didn't know what the hell he did. He got the Nobel Prize for doing nothing. For getting elected, but I got elected too. And, if I think of that, we did something, the Abraham Accords, unprecedented. Nobody thought it was possible. And I'm not saying want or not. I'm just saying if it was anybody else, liberal, Democrat, they would have had it before the damn thing was even signed, So there has to be fairness, and I don't care, but I'm not looking for it. I'm not politicking for it. I'm just saying that there's a lot of unfairness in this world, and I think...
Do you guys remember when President Obama wore a tan suit? And it was like a really big deal. Peter King, who was a Republican congressman, said, and I quote, "There's no way, I don't think, you can excuse what the president did yesterday. I mean, you have the world watching." End quote. Republican legislators called it unpresidential and shocking. Fox News said it was a sign of weakness and a lack of seriousness. He wore a tan suit. Do you remember that? That was their reaction to him wearing a tan suit. Yeah.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
Affordable Care Act.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Obama, so I don't support him in the Obama things that he's got going on. I'm actually really excited for President-elect Donald Trump, so.
Right. So you don't like anything Obama does, and you prefer the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I support Obamacare.
So if you were a senator and you could vote today, you would vote to keep Obamacare instead of the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I guess the Affordable Care Act.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I'm not really sure. My girlfriend supports Trump, so I go with whatever she says.
What is the main difference between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act?
One is you pay, and then the other one is Obama pays for you.
Right, Obama pays, pretty big difference.
Pretty big difference.
I believe that Obamacare, the premiums are too high, so people end up paying more.
Right.
So I believe in the Affordable Care Act.
And so the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Right, correct.
Right.
Which is obvious based on the name.
It's in the name, right.
Right.
Why do you like the Affordable Care Act more than Obamacare?
Because I don't like Obama.
But you like the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
What if I told you Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
Obama did it better. Obama did it better. The new talking point from MAGA is, well, Obama dropped bombs too. Yeah, he did. And he did it better. Obama was able to use surgical strikes and limited military operations to take out targets and not start a fucking war. How about that shit? He did it better. In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. He was able to deport way more people than Donald Trump, and he's able to do it on 1/10 of the freaking budget. Yeah? And without sending fucking goon squads into American cities. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get across a healthcare bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get tax cuts for the low and middle class. Trump for the upper class, for the rich. Obama did it better. So trying to say that Obama did it too on any subject just shows the failure of Trump and the failure of his people to recognize that everything that Trump said Obama did it fucking better. They just don't like that a black man did it better than a white man. And one last point, let's not forget that Obama was able to get Iran to enter into a non-proliferation treaty for nukes. Trump couldn't do it, so Obama did it better.
This isn't going to be a breaking point for a lot of people because the only reason Donald Trump felt comfortable posting that racist depiction of the Obamas is because he knows that's a big chunk of his fan base. He knows that they're racist, or else he wouldn't feel comfortable posting something like that. I think there are different categories of Trump supporters, but there is absolutely no denying that a huge chunk of them are just blatantly racist, and that's why they like him. So no, for a lot of his fan base, this isn't going to be a deal breaker for them because this is how they truly see people. This is their actual views. This is why they support him. This is why they love him so much, because they see themselves in him. Is it disturbing? Yes. But I think more people need to come to that realization that it's unfortunate that there are so many of these people out there, but there are. And that's devastating.
I think I finally understand why Donald Trump hates Barack Obama and Michelle Obama so much, and it really has nothing to do with that White House Correspondents' Dinner years ago. It's that America still loves, the world still loves Barack and Michelle Obama. See, last night was an NBA All-Star game, and, well, the Obamas were there. The camera panned to them, and the crowd cheered. Everybody stood up. They got a standing ovation to the point that President Obama stood up and waved at the crowd, which led to more cheering. Meanwhile, Donnie Boy Trump shows up at sporting events and half to 3/4 of the crowd boos, to the point that the same media networks have to put clapping and cheering tracks over it to keep his supporters from attempting to boycott them. So, Donald Trump really hates the Obamas because the world still loves them, as the world has always despised him.
MAGA Republicans are fucking idiots. Must feel amazing to just be stupid. The world must be easy for you. Trump and the MAGA Republicans have such a hard-on obsession with Barack Obama. The only person on earth that has a bigger obsession is a crackhead with crack. They're now trying to associate Barack Obama with Jeffrey Epstein. In a tweet that said, "It was buried by the press, but not only were Obama and Jeffrey Epstein friends, they traveled around Thailand together in search of the perfect spring bowl."
No, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You mean one of the greatest ever food investigators, food reporters, food bloggers, food journalists? Anthony Bourdain, the Anthony Bourdain, you're confusing him with Jeffrey Epstein?
First of all, I don't get to sneak out, period. But once in a while.
What do you guys use your phones for? We literally live in a time where we have the biggest search engine with all the history of the world in our fingertips. And you decided that another white man with gray hair was Jeffrey Epstein. And we were going to be like, yeah, you finally got him. I won't even tell you guys to go back to school because there's probably not enough schools in your hometown. That's why you guys all have the literacy of a wet seal. Do better. Leave Obama alone. Release the Epstein files. I don't give a flying fuck who's inside of it. I just know that if your boy's not in it, which he is, they should be released. Any Democrat in it should go down. Any Republican in it should go down, but release them. But you're scared to release them.
So guys, you've watched the videos and you have seen what people are thinking about this ongoing thing about people disliking former President Barack Obama. And you have watched the videos carefully and you have seen that there are many people that actually think that Obama was actually the best president, while there are still others that want to make him appear in bad light, that he was not all that, you know. So this psychologist has come out to make things clearer for people that are maybe wondering what is going on here. And the case is simple, that people, white people, never thought that a black person can be superior. And since the reign of President Barack Obama, everything was shattered, everything was, you know, they didn't have anything to say after that because it was all perfection. It was black excellence in everything that Obama did. And that upset them. That upset a lot of them, and they are unable to get over that, you know. For a normal person, you would be disappointed, yes, but then learn to get over it. Look at the facts, look at the figures. This is what the guy has done. Yes, you did not expect him to do this and that, but he has done it, and he has done it exceptionally well. So for any normal person, it would be very easy to just, you know, like accept and break that notion of always thinking that black people cannot do this, they cannot be that, they cannot be this and that. And try to look at it from the positive light that they can actually do these things and they can actually do them very well. Now, there are people that are stuck in the past. They are stuck on trying to make it look like he did not do this and this. He did it even worse than Trump. And luckily, there are many people that want to fight that notion because they know that it's not true. And here we're not even working with just an isolated case. We're talking about facts that are in books, they're in history. They're on your search bar. You can actually collect that information for yourself and see that President Barack Obama did his work and he did it well, you know. He gave it his everything. And I like to say that there's no one that is very, like, perfect. There's no one that is perfect. But in as much as there is no perfection, Barack Obama did what was humanly possible in his capacity. He did everything that he did, and he made sure to do it very well, to the best of his ability, you know. He did not leave anything and feel like I should have done something about this, or I would have done it better if I, you know. There was no regrets. He did everything that he could in his human power, and he did it very well. Now, those that are supporting President Trump and actively, and that is not actually the problem. The problem is when you start comparing people and comparing using false ideas, ideologies, you know, false data. You cannot come out and say Obama did this and this. Well, he did not do that. Look at the books, look at history, look at your Google search. It's as simple as that. Make sure that you know what you're saying, because it's very ignorant of someone to try to give an opinion, and they're basing their opinion on something that is not factual, you know. So yeah, there are people that have taken their time to do the research. They have looked at all the facts that we have, and they know deep down that President Barack Obama outdid himself. He did the best of the best, and there is no regret about that. And if you want to support President Donald Trump, I think it should be a choice. It should be something that you just do out of, people have their preferences. It should be okay that you just do that as you, but not doing it and trying to tarnish someone else's name to make your candidate look preferable or better. It shouldn't be working like that. It should be a point of everyone just supporting their preferred person without really tarnishing the other person's name. And if you believe in something and it happens that whatever you have believed all your life has come down crumbling and it's not what you thought, it's not what you expected, then the easier thing to do is get over that and make sure that you learn. This is what we call learning and relearning. Yeah, now that you know that black people can actually go to the top positions and do a thorough, clean, good job, you should get over that fact and get moving with life, Don't be stuck there thinking you want to tarnish, like you want to rubbish everything that he did and everything that he did in good faith, and it was for you and I, Let's get serious. Let's get a bit more serious with that. And it hurts sometimes when people are arguing from a point of ignorance. For example, someone arguing about the Obamacare being less important or less than the affordable care, and then you asked, why do you think so? Why do you think that is better? And you have nothing to say. You actually think that simply because it has the name Obama on it, it should be wrong. That is what we're talking about. Psychological brainwash that you never expect black people to do anything good, anything great belongs to the white people. And now when that narrative is broken down and now you don't even know where to run to, and you're out here trying to meddle in people's business, you're trying to tarnish everything that was ever done for you, for your sake, Yeah, and I think it's very important that we be real to ourselves, in as much as you're out there trying to make President Obama look like the bad guy, look like he didn't do all that, he wasn't the best at anything, it was like a waste of time. Put in mind also that he was elected twice. He had 2 terms and it was the maximum. We don't know what would happen if it wasn't the maximum. And just put in mind that that person that you're talking about barely even talks about you in the negative. The people that actually support Barack Obama are real supporters because they do not look at him as a perfect human being. And Barack even said it himself. He said he doesn't believe that he did everything perfectly, but he knows that he did what he was supposed to do and he did it well, If he was to score 100%, he did it. He scored his 100%, and if his 100% is not enough for you, then that is unfortunate, but that is the best that he could do and he did it. So I don't know what to even say and think about this, but I would like to hear your views on what you think about this topic, that people can just decide to let go of Obamacare simply because it has his name. They don't even know the content. They don't know what it provides. They don't know what the advantages of that are. They don't know anything about it, but simply because it has the name Obama on it, it's a no goes on. Now, people, let me hear your views on this. Go to the comment section, please leave a comment on what you think about this. And it doesn't matter where you lie, I know that I'm always talking to people that are open-minded, you could be having a different view. Please feel free to share with us, share with the rest of us in the comment section so that we can know whatever backing that you have to think the way that you are thinking. And for those that are new to the channel, kindly consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll be so happy from that. And it will help the channel to grow a bit. So please kindly consider subscribing to me. And give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and share to your friends and family. Thank you, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye.